Hello everybody, welcome to part 12 of the Suzuki Bandit project. So, last week I did the rear brake caliper and the braided line from Ben Hill, and that really has transformed the rear brake. So much so, it's made me realise how bad the front brakes are. Luckily enough, I've got some stuff here to help me improve the braking at the front. So first up, used last week, got our Butylene DOT4 brake fluid, which is going to come in handy when we bleed up the Ben Hill braided brake lines. I've gone for what they call a race setup, which is 2 brake lines instead of the standard 3. So both the lines are attached at the master cylinder at the top, and then one line goes down to the left caliper, one line goes down to the right hand side one. I found this is the easiest bet when doing aftermarket lines, so I've gone for that one to match the rear. Next up, I have some brand new brake discs. The ones that are on there, I'm not sure who they're made by, but I'm not a huge fan of them. I don't think they work very well, and I think the bobbins are starting to wear and rattle and stuff as well. But I've got some genuine discs from Suzuki. They're actually quite reasonably priced compared to some of the aftermarket ones, and out of all the different brake discs I've used over the years, I don't think you can beat the genuine ones, to be honest with you. So I have a pair of discs. I was waiting for the right hand side one for a little while on back order, but it's finally here, so we can do this. And the final piece of the puzzle to do with the brakes are brake pads. And to go with the genuine discs, I've actually got genuine Suzuki brake pads, which I didn't realise they actually made. I was just shocked. Like, I didn't realise they made them. So there we go. Going to try some genuine Suzuki brake pads, which is a first for me. So something that's happened on the bike that I haven't actually documented and filmed, I actually purchased a second-hand pair of wheels. I paid £70 for them, for front and rear, and they came with some tyres. Now normally I wouldn't bother with second-hand tyres I've bought on rims, I'd normally change them, but I knew the guy that had these wheels and tyres, and they'd only done a couple of 100 miles, so I'm more than happy to use these ones. So I fitted those during the week because my old ones were getting awfully bold. And I've got some Michelin Pilot Sports, but because I missed the current affairs, I'm not actually sure which model they are. I think they're the Pilot Sport 3s, but it's been quite nice to have a tyre that has a round profile. The old ones had squared off a little bit, so it handles really nice now on some nice round tyres. I fitted those during the week just in a rush because I wanted to go out to a bike night, so I'll show you the rear. But yeah, so I'm happy with that. Now it's time to start on the front brakes. So first job is take the calipers off. Okay, so both calipers are off now. Time to remove the wheel. Now the front wheel's out, the next thing to do is remove the discs. Now this disc is off, I need to take the other side off. Okay, both of the discs have been removed, so now it's time to fit the new ones. The new ones do have a slightly oily coating. I'm not sure if you can see that in the picture, but I'm going to use some brake cleaner to remove that before I use them on the road. I've also got some brand spanking new disc bolts. If you can see it there, I've got 10 brand new ones with the Loctite fitted, so I'm going to fit those as well. Okay, I fitted this disc. I'm going to fit the other side, get the torque wrench out, torque all the bolts up to their settings, and then I'm going to fit the wheel and move on to the brake calipers. Okay, so I'm going to change the brake pads, put the calipers back on, and then it'll be time to move on to the brake line. Okay, new brake pads fitted on this side. I'll fit the other side and then we'll move on to the brake lines. Brake pads are fitted. My new Venhill carbon looking lines are fitted. They're stainless braid with a sort of see-through dark cover on, so I think they look quite cool. They're all fitted. I've got to tie them away in bits and bobs, but now is the fun bit of bleeding the brakes. I use a back bleeding method. I have this squeezy bottle that's a fuel bottle for a remote control car with a bit of washer pipe on the top. What I'm going to do is put that on there, hold it upside down. I'm going to let all the air come out of here until it stops. Give it a bit of a tap, no more air coming out. Then what I'm going to do is crack the bleed nipple off, squeeze on this, and then watch the master cylinder, watch the air bubbles come out, and when the air bubbles stop, I'll close the bleed nipple down here, and then the brake system's going to be bled up. So I'll let you watch me do that now. Okay, so now we're going to watch all the air bubbles come up through the line. And then, as soon as they stop, and the level's at a decent height, the brakes are bled. Brake lines have been bled up. All I need to do now is pump the brake lever to push the pistons back out with the new pads on the new discs, and then we should have a good firm lever and the brakes should be bled up. So I'll give that a try now. there we go. So that is the brakes all done and ready to go out on the road. Okay, so we've got some shiny new brake discs with disc bolts and genuine Suzuki brake pads. Just like to say thanks to Tim at Suzuki for sorting those out for us. We do appreciate it. And we've also got the Ven Hill lines we've put on as well, because the original rubber ones that had probably been on there for 15 plus years just weren't up to the job anymore. I'd also like to say thank you to Pewterline for the .4 brake fluid, so we could bleed it up with some fresh new fluid. I'm going to call it a day for part 12 of the Suzuki Bandit project, sponsored by GSX Bandits. But while I've got my bleeding kit out, I'm going to fit the braided clutch line off camera, just because you don't need to see me do that again. But I'm going to fit that now. So yeah, that's it for this week. Until then, we'll see you later.